I've been reading Jeremiah lately, and there's one verse in Jeremiah that everyone loves. Like Christians seriously love this verse. It is Jeremiah 29:11, which says this: For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Now, this is a verse that is so popular with Christians. You just have to search for it on Google image search, and there will be images of this everywhere. And the reason why this verse struck me is because at a time like this, I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm seeing a lot of people encouraging us to make the most of our lockdown, to become the best people we can be, to prosper in our times of home life. For some reason, all these people my age are learning how to bake bread. I don't know why, but they are. I have no desire to bake bread, but people are doing it. I got really excited about this time. I was going to write my books, and I was going to watch all the TV shows that I want to watch. I'd probably have lots of naps, and I haven't achieved most of the things that I wanted to achieve. I have got pretty good at YouTube, watching YouTube that is, but otherwise that's about it. Maybe you've had all these great plans, maybe you've achieved them, but maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been feeling like I've felt some days where you've just wanted to do nothing. Maybe you've been feeling like everything is too overwhelming. Maybe you have been feeling guilty that you haven't got the stuff done that you thought that you should have got done. Maybe you've started school again and it's been stressful. I don't know what it's been like for you. The reason why I thought I'd talk about this verse is because so many people read it, but they don't read it in the context that was written in. Jeremiah writes Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 to a bunch of people from Israel who have been taken captive and taken into another land. And they've been taken into another land by a foreign enemy. And when they're living in the land of the enemy, he writes to them and tells them how they should live. And this is what he says to them. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to all those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters, find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also, seek the peace and prosperity of the city in which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. What Jeremiah is saying there is that you are put in this foreign land and you are stuck there. And you shouldn't spend all your time hoping for when you're going to get to go home. You shouldn't spend your time thinking about what things are going to be like in the future, but you should know where you are right now and settle in. Work for the good of where you are. Live the life that you have and work for the good of the city that you are in. Because there are lots of people who are telling them, oh, you'll get to go home soon, it'll be over soon. This is all just going to be temporary. But he knew that it wasn't going to be. He knew that it was going to last a long time, which is why he writes this. This is what the Lord says. When 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my good promise to bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place from which I have carried you into exile. God is saying to them, this space that you are in, it is temporary, but it is still going to be for a long time. And just because you're in this space and it feels like it could be going on forever, that doesn't mean that God has forgotten his people. And for us, we're in this situation where we don't know how long it's going to last. There's a very small chance it's going to be for 70 years like it was for Israel, but we don't know how long it'll be. Will it be for a few months? Will it be for the rest of the year? We don't know. And while Israel was taken into exile, we have the opposite problem. We are stuck at home. We can't go anywhere. But I think the same advice that Jeremiah had for Israel is the same one that we can have. That we should work for the prosperity of the place where we are. And we can grieve for what we've lost. We can be sad about the things we don't get to do. We can feel lonely and we can feel angry and we can feel anxious. But in all those things, if we focus also on loving those around us and caring for our brother and sister and forgiving our family when they hurt us and making good connections with our friends online, if we work at reaching out to those people who we know are lonely, if we do that, we work for the prosperity of our home and of our friends and of our family and of our neighbors. And this will give us something to hold on to, something to focus on, something to do, which is more than just making yourself a better person, but is actually making your home a better home. Because when your home prospers, you prosper. And as we do that, we're still waiting for the time when God is going to set everything right in this world. And we know that that's going to happen because he sent his son Jesus. Jesus came and he lived and he died and he rose again. He showed that God is committed to us. He hasn't given up on us even in the darkest times. He shows that he will forgive us and give us new life. And when Jesus rose again, it's the promise that there is a new world coming where there is no more pain or sorrow, where there's no more sickness or death, where we get to live forever with him if we trust in him. We know that God does have plans to prosper us and not to harm us. We've seen that in Jesus. He has given us in Jesus a hope and a future. That is coming, but right now, where we are, whatever place we find ourselves in, we love God and we love others. We work for the good of the home that we are in, because when our home prospers, we prosper. And we will see God glorified when he is at work through us.